Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, USA Weather Watch. Just thought I'd do a quick video here on the snowstorm that's coming up for the Midwest. It's going to really start across the Northwest here. You can see it being ushered in by this low pressure system here. We're going to be some pretty cold air down across the west, big trough carving out here. Then we're going to bring kind of a 1-2 punch all the way across some of the northern plains here and across the Great Lakes towards New York and off into the Northeast here. We'll take a look at those details coming up here and some of the snowfall amounts, wind chills they can expect out there. Pretty intense storm. So I just thought we'd go over it here. Let's take a look at things here. You can see the National Weather Service has taken notice locally 24 plus inches possible out here across this swath of snow that's going to move across the country in the northern states here. Blizzard conditions are possible. There's some pretty major impacts going to be expected along the swath of snow here. We'll take a look at some more of those details here in a moment. This is the overall winter storm impacts here through day 1 through 3. You can see some extreme impacts potentially across some portions of Minnesota towards South Dakota there as well, on through Wisconsin, then eventually off towards New York and some of the Northeast there. Now, taking a look here, this is 850 millibar temperatures, 5,000 feet, and you can see the cold air being introduced here across the Pacific Northwest, moves down across Montana towards Wyoming, Colorado, South Dakota, Nebraska here. Then you can kind of see this secondary portion of the storm is going to be the strongest. You can see that cyclone developing here and that cold air just coming in behind this mid-latitude cyclone moving across the northern states and the Great Lakes here. And that's what's going to bring that swath of snowfall here to the northern states. We'll take a look at what the models are saying on that here in just a moment. Now taking a look here at the surface pressure map with precipitation overlaid here. We're now going on into tomorrow morning, Tuesday, and you can see this first of the 1-2 punch here, moving some snow here across. They're talking about Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes here towards the northeast with this low pressure system here. And then the stronger system develops here, and you can kind of see the backside of this low pressure system here, just bringing some snow all the way down through Nebraska there, across some portions of northern Iowa towards Minnesota, Wisconsin here, and across the Great Lakes shown here. Now taking a look at this total snow-to-share ratio in inches here. The European model, this is 18Z, hot off the presses here this afternoon. Put that into motion. You can see the first band of snowfall moving across some of Minnesota, Wisconsin there off towards the northeast. And the secondary storm here really laying down a track of some heavy snowfall here. You're going to get some blizzard conditions, some strong winds, very cold temperatures, brutal wind chills can be expected across some of this area all the way through Wisconsin here coming up. This would be late Thursday morning here. Now we're going into Thursday afternoon. As you can see, this pretty sharp cutoff here. Looks like it's going to remain north of Chicago coming up here, but it's going to impact the Twin Cities and some other major areas as well as we go on in through Friday morning shown here. Let's check at what the troughing looks like here at 18,000 feet as well. This is 18,000 feet, 500 millibars here, and you can see the jet stream at that level there, kind of carving this big trough out across the west, introducing that cold air across the region. They're going to have those couple of cyclones move along that cold air all the way up towards the northeast there, bringing this very heavy snowfall across the area. This would be Thursday afternoon shown here, and check out that picture perfect trough there across the northwest all the way down through California there, bringing them continued storms down across California as well. Now this is looking at the GFS. Let's compare it to what the European just showed. This is the 18Z run. First of that 1-2 punch kind of moves across Minnesota there, northern Iowa, Wisconsin, across the Great Lakes here as you go on in through early Thursday morning. This next system is developing here and laying down that secondary track of snowfall here as well. So you can see pretty good agreement where this snow cutoff is going to occur, generally north of Chicago here. So yeah, that's pretty good agreement between the two models. But a nice swath of snow all the way up through the northeast here. This is look at the Canadian, checking this out. Let's see what the models say here as well. That first line of snow goes by. Then Thursday morning, the secondary low really lays down those heavy snowfalls. And you can see the pretty good model agreement here on that sharp cutoff here, somewhere across the Great Lakes, generally north of Chicago as we go on into Friday is shown there. Now, this is the NAM 12KM also. We'll just kind of speed through this. I think you're getting the picture of what's going on here, but you can see how secondary low brings some really heavy snowfall across the northern states here as well. And again, staying north of Chicago. Now, this is looking at 100-meter wind speed here. Put this into motion. You can see the first system kind of moving across the area there. There it goes. But then as we go on into Wednesday morning here, you notice a secondary low pressure system there. Very strong north wind behind the system there, bringing that cold air down across some of the Midwest and the plain states here. And then the system will bring some very heavy snow across the region there. More on that here in a moment. In fact, let's take a close look at this area. This is the parent temperature, so you're taking wind chill into account here. put that into motion here. We're now into Tuesday morning. You can see some pretty cold wind chills, but watch what's coming here, with especially the secondary storm here. Cold air starts to settle down across the area pretty well here. And as we get on into Wednesday afternoon and Thursday, the cyclone is developing here. And look at some of these wind chills here across the Dakotas, down towards Nebraska, Wyoming, portions of Colorado, Montana, and on in through Minnesota here. Some brutally cold wind chills here, down to -40 possible there on in through Thursday morning. And this is looking at the day 3 minimum temperature here, ending Thursday at 7 a.m. Look at this just ice box here across some of the northern portions of the state here, across the Dakotas, Montana, again, Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, out there towards Minnesota, Wisconsin there as well. So pretty chilly temperatures coming up there with that snowfall coming here, but not much of relief here for the southeast. Going to keep some ridging out there and keep the warm temperatures going for a lot of the east coast here coming up. Now, this is looking at total snow-to ratio in inches. We're going to run over this really quick here and kind of look at this. We saw the wider map here, but you can see some of these individual snow totals here across this band of snowfall. Some areas getting up over 20 inches of snowfall in this band. And again, you can see that sharp cutoff through some portions of Nebraska, Iowa here, and generally staying north of Chicago. But this goes out 90 hours here on the European model. Now, this is looking at snow depth in inches. This is pretty current right now. Put this into motion, you can see the additional snowfall coming through at the first wave there. Then that secondary system, you can really see it adding onto the snowfall here. And again, that's snow depth in inches here. But you can see that sharp cutoff. No snow really south of that line. And we're getting on in through late February now. Winter's getting away from a lot of the people across the southeast there, and some of the east coast has been kind of disappointed in this winter outcome here, at least for snow lovers anyway. But you can see it's pretty good snow line coming up here, and some places across some of the northern states are going to get a nice shot of 1-2 punch of snow here as we go on in through Thursday coming up. So now we're taking a look at some of the National Weather Service offices. You can see just a broad area of really heavy snowfall across portions of Montana, Wyoming here, and portions of the western North and South Dakota here. But yeah, I hope you didn't have any plans going anywhere, because there's a lot of snowfall coming in through here, Montana, on in through Wednesday night. This is that midweek winter storm here. You can see the Twin Cities taking notice, winter storm warnings. I have a hunch that some places, especially off to the west of this a little bit, it's going to be upgraded to blizzard warnings here as we get a little bit closer to this event. You can see here now we're looking at Twin Cities, talking about the upper Midwest, expecting 12 to 24 inches of snowfall. You're going to have widespread accumulations, blowing, drifting snow, mainly Wednesday and Thursday there. First round, they're talking about that there. The second round comes with that more powerful low pressure system there. So yeah, you guys know how to prepare out there. But anyway, just thought I'd go over this, and some of my Pacific Northwest people will probably like to see the details on this storm here as well. Blowing snow potential here. More graphics here from the Aberdeen National Weather Service, South Dakota. Their chance of blowing snow you can see is high. So truly some classic winter conditions out there across some of the northern states, across the plain areas there. But yeah, this low pressure system bringing a pretty good shot of wind here across Pacific Northwest, gusting 51 miles per hour at my home here on my anemometer. And this is kind of the gatekeeper for that colder air that's going to really start moving down across the region here and move over the west coast. Kind of a 1-2 punch here. And then we're going to continue to remain active here across some of the west here as we go on into the extended forecast as well. But anyway, I'm probably going to go out to the coast tomorrow and watch the huge waves rolling in here in the wake of this system. We've got a pretty good northwest fetch coming towards the coastline here. Big waves. We got some coastal flood advisories. We got high surf advisories, all kinds of stuff out there. So I'll probably go out there and do that. So I may live stream that if I do, and I'll probably just do some Q&A there. So I may not do a video tomorrow. It depends on what time I get home tomorrow evening anyway. But yeah, we'll talk about California maybe tomorrow, whatever you guys want to talk about during the live stream. Maybe I'll do it while we're driving a little bit too. So I'll have my buddy driving with me, drive the car so I can do some Q&As. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys like that video out there. I'll do some other areas that get some active weather here from time to time, and that will include Tornado Alley here as we go on into the springtime here. Some severe weather forecasting will be in my future here as we go on in through spring and early summer coming up here, and as well as I'll be taking several trips out there to Tornado Alley as I do every year. I try to pick the best systems and go out there and try to find some beautiful storms out there to photograph. So anyway, I hope you guys are liking these videos. I'll talk to you probably in a live stream tomorrow. And if not, then I'll see you the day after that with another full briefing coming up here. And crossing my fingers here, hoping for a little bit of snowfall across the lower portions of the elevations here of the Pacific Northwest. But no promises there coming up. But we do have the potential for some more snow towards this weekend here. We're going to have some cold air in place and bring some moisture back into the Pacific Northwest here as well. But Anyway, we'll worry about that later coming up here, and I will talk to you guys later.